Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Phil. Phil is from Liverpool in England, but he lives in Wales. So let's see what Phil has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hi,
Hello, Phil. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Thanks so much for taking the time for the interview this evening. Thank you.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So
Hope
tell
we
me
had a
how.
good time, to be honest. I just got back from Miami, so I finally got over the jet lag, I think. So I'm
So,
sprightly.
so tell me a little bit about your trip to Miami. It was a business trip or just for holidays?
It was a bit of both, to be honest. It was work and pleasure. So there was a few working situations to do, but a majority of it was to see friends and meet people that I've been speaking to for so long online and see them in person, touch them if they're real. It was crazy. Good
And
time though.
the weather was good as well, I believe, Miami.
Yeah, 30 degrees, I think most days, but coming back to I live in Wales, so it's just rained a lot since I was like, oh no. But it is what it is. I'm lucky to travel. So
Amazing. So Phil, you are originally from Wales.
no, I'm actually from Liverpool. So I'm a northerner. So I have not lived there for a long time, so why my accent's not as strong. But I lived in London, Bristol, and now Cardiff, in Wales. So it's southernized now, I think.
And why Cardiff?
So I met my partner. So during lockdown, we filmed together, and then he's Welsh. So I thought, I'll give Wales a go for my sins, and I'm still here 2 years later. So
Amazing.
yeah,
So
it's
Phil,
nice.
tell me, what do you do for work?
So I work in the adult entertainment industry. So
Mhm.
a bit of OnlyFans just for fans, some studio work, photography, stuff like that. Just take my clothes off on the internet.
So tell me how your journey started.
How did this start? So I think I think they call it the lockdown OnlyFans people. It was during that time I was working as a project manager, and I realized there's an opportunity here. I'm going to be alone, and everyone's going to be alone on the internet, and so I gave it a go, and it just kind of blew up. So I just remember I was just posting stuff. It was just playful for me. And I woke up one day with like 10,000 followers on my Twitter, and I was like, okay, so this might be a thing that I want to explore. And yeah, it's just kind of just spiraled in a good way. Like I've met some amazing people, I've done some amazing things, and I get to travel, and yeah, it's just now become part of my sort of lifestyle, I think. So yeah, and I
Amazing.
enjoy it.
Amazing. I think that's the best part. When you do something that you enjoy, you have fun, you know what I mean? That's how a life should be.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. And meeting the people you meet in this industry is just like it's just amazing people, all like-minded, and a lot of have the same journey, and yeah, it's nice.
It's interesting because I think those platforms, yeah, for adult content, it became so big, so huge, and as you said as well, could be because of the, you know what I mean, the lockdown. I think people they are trying to somehow survive as well to make their living, and some people they start expressing themselves in a way that there are no rules. I think people they can express, and I think
Yeah.
nowadays is more exposed now. I think people they are more open about anything.
Yeah, I agree. It can be quite saturated. There's a lot of people like that are now joining it. I think I joined at the right time because
Mm-hmm.
obviously people like what I do, what I did, and what I do now. So that does help. But I think the way I sort of approach it, it's being from a business background. Like I was a business change manager was my actual title. I approach it from a business perspective because it is, a money earning sort of way. You a lot of marketing and promoting and collaborations and just being kind to people and fans and things like that, and building up this whole world around whatever you do because you're selling it in a way. But yeah, it does gives people that opportunity to express themselves. Like that's how I sort of started it because I wasn't that confident beforehand, and I was like, oh, okay, well, it's given me this bit of a buzz, Yeah, so it's worked for me. It doesn't work for everyone. It's not for everybody.
Of course.
But I definitely enjoy it.
Absolutely. Phil, before we start our journey within the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting about myself. So I was a singer in a band, about
Wow.
2017 in a funk band. We had like a music video. We were on sort of a BBC introducing in Liverpool, like the local station. We'd done some live gigs, had a music video, got some songs on iTunes and Apple Music. So that's still out there, earning something somewhere. I think I was like most played in Brazil at one point on Apple Music, and I was like, what?
Wow.
But,
Amazing.
it didn't
Yeah.
go anywhere. It was fun at the time.
I'm originally from Brazil, and I think Brazilian people, we kind of, we are very open-minded about music, you know what I mean? And we like a lot of foreign music as well for the countries. So I think, somehow you like to explore. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how I got over there, but there you go. I mean, it's good stuff. I liked it. Like, it was fun to do. It's upbeat and fun music. So.
But do you still sing sometimes, or you kind of put on the side?
Oh, I only sing now if I'm doing the laundry or in the shower or doing the dishes. Like, it's just, it's not a serious thing for me anymore. But enjoy it.
Phil, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Let's go on a journey. I'm excited.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So this is my best friend. Full of random fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
You might be... Right, first question for you is, what is your most embarrassing moment?
Most embarrassing. I mean, there's a few I probably won't want to talk about, but I think the only one that comes to my mind, which is kind of playful, is losing my voice halfway through a gig. And I couldn't finish. So I just had to improvise on stage. But it was to a point where it just cut out completely. I think I partied too hard or something. I know when I'd done a gig, and it was like within 10, 15, 20 minutes of the gig, and my voice just went completely. So I just had to improvise, and it was quite embarrassing, but I think I played it off quite well. But yeah, it was I didn't want that to ever happen again.
Tell me how music came into your life.
I've always been into music. Like, I'm one of those people, like, I wake up singing a song every single morning in my head. I don't know where it comes from. There's always something like just playing, and that's kind of sets up my day in a way, because I'll always play it when I get up. But I think from school, I played piano. I was self-taught. I played a bit of piano. I'm not like graded or anything. I can just play what I like, type of thing. Yeah, it's always been part of my life. I can't think of a day without it, to be honest. It's like a core sort of stability for me, music.
At the time, who was your idol? Did you follow someone like big time at the time?
Yeah, so I've got a few. It's quite eclectic, to be honest. I think my main person of all time is Tori Amos. That's who I sort of loved. But then it can range between like Tori Amos to Mariah Carey. Like, I will go on a Mariah Carey binge and just listen to her albums over again. Then I could even, in the middle, I'll listen to Bjork. And then I'll listen to the Smashing Pumpkins. So I think idolizing was Tori Amos was my sort of key. All the way up to Mariah Carey is, yeah. Quite a range, I'd say.
Very eclectic for sure.
Yeah.
Next one.
Go.
Hey, Phil from Liverpool. Next question for you is, what are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Oh God, I need to go to Asia. I've never been to Asia. That's very high on my list. Second is, well, I've sort of done it, but I didn't complete it. So I'm going a roller coaster tour across America. Like I only got to like 2 theme parks, but I would really, really want to do them all. Because I was as a kid, I was obsessed with roller coasters. Like I used to make them out of plasticine, like and just like try and spray them so they stuck as a structure. But it's always been sort of a stable thing. But I've only been to 2, but I want to do more. And I think what would be my third? Probably some extreme sports like sort of rock climbing or skydiving or anything sort of extreme, because I like to push my sort of limits and boundaries. And I don't know if I'd enjoy it or hate it because I've never been in that situation, but I'd love to try it. I think, yeah, they're the top ones I can think of straight away.
Which one do you think is going to happen first?
The roller coasters. Yeah, probably. Or maybe Asia, because I mean, it's already a flight.
Yeah.
Only
All right.
flight.
Next question, Phil. Let's do it. Before the next question, as you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, how much you enjoy, your job and creating adult content.
Yeah.
But there's always a flip side as well. What would be the most challenging part?
I know I said I've met a lot of people, but there's always so because I do what I do, and you've got to have some sort of sexual connection with a human being. Sometimes it doesn't always pan out that way. So I think the tricky side is sort of portraying that on, because if it's planned and you want to go ahead with it, always consensual, you always don't do things that you don't want to do. But sometimes it doesn't always pan out or work out the way you maybe think. But there's always a way around it, with communication. Sometimes you just don't do it in the end. But that's always tricky. Also with sort of platforms, everyone's got their own platform, they're earning their own money. Where does that sort of balance happen? Where you can earn equal shares. Now there are platforms out there that spread the shares equally, but other platforms you earn your own, they earn their own. So there's always sort of a compromise in a way. So that can be tricky at times. I mean, most people, it's fine, but some people are very I don't want to say difficult, but just takes a little bit more work, shall we say.
Question for you. As you said about collaboration, you have collaboration with people. Tell me, I'm just curious about something. When you are in contact with the person, I have like different people. When you get to meet, do you kind of sign contracts, or you just mouth to mouth, or you just keep the conversation? How does it work? How does the business work?
Yeah, so it's more sort of verbal agreements with each other in terms of the planning and the meeting up and things. So which can sometimes fall through and sometimes it does. Like people may not show up or they cancel for whatever reasons, which is completely fine, because life is life, and we've all got things going on. But there are people that do sort of sign those sort of agreements. Like for instance, if I go to London, I've got to book a train, a hotel, food, all of those sort of expenses, which you do put towards the tax and things. It's still an expense in a way. So if somebody cancels in that situation, you could lose out on sort of those spends. So some people do write these contracts like, you need to turn up, you can only cancel for these reasons. Okay. If not, you owe percentage of the sort of hotel or something like that. So some people do it that way, but I personally, I'm a believer in people and I rely on people. So I benefit of the doubt and things. So it's more verbally.
Through your career, it's been more positive regarding that, or you had some challenge regarding that through your career?
I've had challenges like anybody else in any business really, but it's nothing like, it's never personal. It's something you overcome, something you deal with. It's, I never hold hard feelings towards anybody in this industry because so much happens, and you just kind of maybe rearrange if something does happen. It's not a problem.
All right.
I think it's about having the right mindset.
Okay. Next question is, what was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
My favorite thing to do as a kid, rollerblading, actually. Yeah. So I used to live on like a council estate in Liverpool, and they always had like, it was called Council Farm, but it wasn't a farm, trust me. It was really not. But they had like, I always remember this like hill that just went down, So I used to like crave to get out and about and just on my roller skates or my bike and just be outside in the woods, anything like that. But rollerblading is the thing that sort of stuck in my head as a kid. That was my favorite thing. And if I was at home, my favorite thing was to play with Play-Doh, plasticine, or drawing. I was very creative, like in the house, and also quite adventurous outside the house as a kid.
How was growing up as a gay boy in Liverpool?
I came out when I was 14, actually. So the first person I told I was gay was my dad. Um, so I mean, some people at school sort of knew, but I just felt quite confident, and I think it was fine for me. I know it's not like that for everyone, so I'm quite lucky. But in terms of sort of my upbringing, I think I surrounded myself with quite like-minded people, positive people, with a really, really good attitude. And I think I was quite lucky, which gave me the platform to be like, this is who I am. I never, ever had a problem, like growing up, even with my whole family, very supportive. My friends were supportive. So I was really quite lucky in that respect.
And as coming out so young, my goodness, 14 years old,
Yeah, no.
did something happen, or you just felt, you know what, I'm just going to be honest and I'm going to open myself about it?
I think when I was just the year before my mother passed away, and I thought it made me sort of realize that don't wait around because you never know what's going to happen. And I knew I had these feelings, and I knew they weren't like scary or weird or anything like that. Because again, I was with people that was made these things okay. So I was like, yeah, that's sort of who I am, and it just I just said it. As soon as you say it, like it kind of opens the door and it's like, well, going back now to who I am.
Do you think your dad knew? Do you think your dad knew it somehow or not? It was a
Yeah,
surprise
he
for
told me. Yeah, he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, it's probably
him.
because my mother used to like we bought a camcorder. It was like, oh, the family's got a camcorder because it was like in the 90s. And they were like, she used to dress me up in like Rocky Horror Show, make me do these dances in front of the camera. And I think it was pretty obvious. I was a bit of a theatre kid and in the in the limelight, so I didn't really hide it very well. But yeah, I was just they all knew. It wasn't a surprise, put it that way.
Next question. Let's do it. Hey, Phil from Liverpool. Next question is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly, and what would you do?
Oh, I'd definitely be invisible. I'm so nosy. I'm so nosy. I want to know what's going on behind next door's wall. Like, I'm so nosy. I would be nipping in and out of people's lives, just seeing all of the drama, but like not being noticed. Like, just for knowledge, not for anything else. Maybe entertainment, but 100% invisible.
If you had the superpower of being invisible, which place, if you could choose just one place to be, those prohibited places that it's impossible to get in for some reason, there's a place that you would go if you could choose?
Um,
Just
um,
one.
Probably the Freemasons in London. I don't know what goes on behind those doors. It would definitely be. I'd be like, right, what's going on here? What are these secrets? I
For
definitely want to
sure, a
know
lot of
that.
secret.
Yeah. The past and the history, everything. I'd be like, getting in.
And you're gonna write like a book about it, like a
Exactly. The
bestseller.
truth behind the doors. Yeah. Okay.
Ready for another one?
Yep.
Let's do it. Next question is, before the next question, in your opinion, what's the biggest misconception that people has from people who works creating adult content?
A lot of people think people in the industry are quite stuck up or full of themselves, who think they're too good for anybody else or too attractive for anybody else and things like that. I think that's the biggest thing that I've noticed, because when people meet me, they're like, oh my gosh, you're really nice. And I'm like, well, yeah. It's like, I've not changed as a person. I've just taken my clothes off. Like, that's the biggest preconception. It's not correct.
All right. Next question is, what's the biggest risk have you ever taken?
Probably doing this. This is a huge risk. Stepping from a corporate world. I still had a job at the time. I was made redundant from it. So it was a huge risk to do at the same time because I sort of knew what I was doing, and it only took one person to tell them because I didn't. Because I thought, well, I'm using a pseudonym name, like it's not a problem, but as soon as that's out there, it's out there forever. So it's a huge risk of my current job at the time, and for any future employment if I want to go back in that industry. There's always a risk. So if people are thinking about taking this path, it's there forever. Just remember that. So yeah.
And do you think that, for example, as I was checking your profile and you mentioned that you have a partner,
Yeah.
how do you manage the relationship? Always being you guys started together doing the same, or how did you work your experience?
Yeah, so we were lucky because he was doing it maybe a year longer than I did. So he'd already established himself as he is. I was establishing myself. I was pretty new. So in terms of the relationship now, I suppose we come as like a sort of a couple in a way, but we've got our own platform. So we now have a balance of, we sort of film each other. So if I'm doing some content, he would film me do it. So I've got it for my platform and I would do the same for him. Unless somebody wanted to do like a threesome, then we get a camera guy in to film that for us, which is like a cost between the three people or whoever. So it's managing it. It's fine now. It took maybe a little while to find that right balance, because can you imagine having two sort of items and you're literally selling the same thing? People are only going to pay for one, right? That's just common sense and what people naturally do. So we had to find a way of, if people like me, then people like me. If people like him, they like him, and then they can pay for whatever they want to. It's fine. I know we look kind of similar, and people do say, "Are you related? Are you brothers?" And it's like, do you want us to be? That's weird, but
Is there? Oh, sorry, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
no, that was it. Yeah.
I was about to say, if you can share, of course, there is like a rule in a relationship regarding the business or not. You have a good communication and you kind of always, we are very open and talk about, or there like a certain rule between both of you when you're working?
I think it's more just it works because it's just a respect for each other. Like if somebody is like saying or sort of, oh, I don't want to, like in a sort of a negative sort of way, then it's supporting your partner and be like, well, if you're saying that about like sort of my partner, that's my partner at the end of the day. It's this is just having that respect and communicating. Like if I want to do something and he doesn't, it's just finding that balance. Be like, well, I think it's going to be beneficial for these reasons, and it's just communication is key. Like business wise and like outside of the business, we're very happy sort of together, and it works for us. So when we go on these trips, for example, Miami, we know we're away with friends and there's huge parties going on. We're going to be fluid and explore and do whatever, but whose bed do you end up in at the end of the night? Each other's. It's all part of the story and all part of the life, really, just to be fluid and explore. That's sort of our sort of view on things. Not everyone's, but that's how we see it.
I see. Right. Next question. Let's do it. Next question is, what hurt your feelings?
Lying. Yeah, so it's what's sort of hurt me in the past because I don't understand it. It's like just, I think honesty is honesty is the best policy. But in life, like people can deal with things. Anyone can deal with anything. They just need to know. So I think lying really hurts my feelings because it's like, why would you think that you need to lie to me, type of thing. So that's the biggest thing.
You mentioned something as well in the beginning of the interview, saying about this being secure. Yeah? Look at you, look at your pictures. You come across this very confident, good-looking guy. You know what I mean? All very. But what was the turn point that you could see that you get, okay, I am who I am, and this kind of being insecure kind of went away? There was a turn point.
It hasn't gone away.
Okay.
So I am, like I always say this to everybody, I'm riddled with social anxiety and insecurities like anybody else. I think it's it's not betraying, because there is a confidence around it, and that's
Mhm.
built over time and experience. And I think, for example, I've just had a photo shoot. I felt terrible before the photo shoot. I'd been in Miami Beach, like partying for like 2 days. I hadn't drunk enough water. I hadn't eaten enough food. I hadn't slept enough, you know, when you're dancing all night. So I had to go into this photo shoot, and it was when, like, during it, the photographers helps because they push and, you know, you look great and all that stuff, which is really helpful. But then when you see the sort of images, you're like, ah, okay, it's in here. Calm down. But yeah, no, the insecurities are all still there. And like, I'll take like 50 pictures just to get one, even though probably 49 are fine. Like, they're just like everybody else. But I mean, going the gym helps. Being healthy helps. Getting up early, doing the things, getting on with life as like everybody else. Definitely helps with the physical visual for everybody. There's a lot that happens in minds that are all stems from past, present, whatever. But yeah, it's I would never say it's gone away. It's just maybe managed a bit more better, maybe.
And do you think that when you are in front of the camera, you know, doing your job, do you think that's a way for you to kind of battle that, or is a way for you to kind of, you know, go through it and get better regarding that? It's a way for you to express or not?
It's more like it's pushing through, because whatever you sort of think is probably 20% of the reality, but in your mind it's 95% of the reality, and it's kind of pushing through that boundary and reminding yourself, like, you know, I got where I am just by looking like I do, and, you know, and being confident. And I think being kind as well sort of helps in situations, because with sort of confidence and things, because it helps you sort of build a sort of respect between the people and the groups you're in, and who will support you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially, and even with fans as well, it's just always replying and being nice, because it really helps you when you get that sort of response back to be like, oh, okay, there's a platform here, there's a groundedness to it. But I suppose, with back to the question, how do I sort of push it? It is just getting on with it and powering through. And if you have those sort of lull moments, just take a minute and be like, okay, this is not reality. This isn't real. I can push past this. And I always do. I always find a way. But I think I'm quite the optimist as well, so that does help. I always look at the positive side of things. I always think, well, the outcome's going to be different to what's going on in my mind, in short.
What's your star sign, just for curiosity?
Cancer.
Cancer. All
Born in
right.
July. Yeah. Emotionally intelligent, I'm told. Oh. Maybe not to myself, but never mind.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it. For the next question, tell me, if I come to Liverpool for the very first time, people watch the interview right now, what would be your advice? What to see? What's the must? What's the postcard of Liverpool?
The postcard of Liverpool is the culture, because one capital of culture. There is an alarm going off around here, I think. I don't know what that is. Yeah, so the thing to do in Liverpool's capital of culture, so is the culture, it's the music around there, the music scene. The Albert Dock is always a good one. You can take a load of pictures around there. It's absolutely beautiful. Go in the summer, never go in, because it's very windy in Liverpool, because it's a port, so the wind just powers through. The Manchester gets the rain, we get the wind, you know. So I would say on an average day, go to the Albert Dock, see all the sort of waterfront. Go through Liverpool one where all the shops are, because it was all sort of rebuilt and things, and then go into sort of the sort of music scene on like the Cavern Club and things like that, with the Beatles sort of where, and just explore that sort of area through the evening, and maybe go for a meal and things. But it's a beautiful city to visit, definitely.
Very good. Next question is, how long can you go without checking your phone?
35 seconds. I think this is the longest I've ever gone. I would say I don't know, few hours. The thing is, it's different with me because my phone's my sort of work. So the Twitter and the Instagram accounts are, I'm always interacting, and it's a work platform for me. So yeah, I say a few hours, maximum, like a movie, let's say 3 hours max, I can go, and then I'll always be eager to check it to see what's going on. But maybe I'm a workaholic or addicted to my phone. Who knows?
2 questions left, Phil. Let's do it. Before the next question, I'm going to ask a question in 2 parts. The first part of the question is, tell me a moment through your job, your, creating adult content. Tell me a moment or situation that you're never going to forget. A collaboration or something through your career, then that you go like, you know what? That experience or that moment, it will always have a place in my heart or in my, in my head. I'll never forget. And the other part of the question is, if you could choose anyone in the world to collaborate with you. I've seen your profile, you collaborate with few beautiful, handsome guys I could see. If there is still anyone that you go like, you know what, I would love to do a collaboration with this person, who that would be?
Oh, God. Yeah, okay, so I'll answer the first one. So the most amazing sort of moment that I sort of remember is my most recent one, and it was being on doing a collaboration in Miami on a balcony looking over the whole of sort of Miami, and the visuals and the view and the sun and the smells and the sounds. And then I sort of reminding myself where I was and how I got here, and this is what I do. Now that will never, ever, ever leave me, those moments. Do you know when you just take a moment and you just stood there and you're just thinking, how? How did this happen?
Wow.
I was in my room 2 years ago during lockdown, and now I'm on a balcony in Miami on like 53rd floor. Like, it's crazy.
Wow.
And who would I love still to collaborate with? There's been conversations with this person, but I followed, before I was even doing the OnlyFans, I used to follow this guy. I was obsessed, not obsessed, that's weird, but I used to, I like this guy, and it would be the good old Billy Essex. I think he's a something else, that boy. He's just done it. It's just, and also he's absolutely lovely, which helps. But yeah, I think that's yet to come. Maybe I need to send another message. It's been a while, but
and what attracts you the most about him? What is something that you go like, that's something it's about him?
It's like, well, as when I was younger, that's the kind of things I used to sort of look for. The taxi driver, tattoos, Londoner, do you know what I mean? Like that gruff Essex boy type of look. So I think it's kind of stuck with me, like through my adolescence and things like that. So I think there's a connection there that I just, every time I look at him, I'm like,
Very good. Next question is, where do you want to be in 10 years time from now?
I want to be living abroad. I've always wanted to live in Spain, to be honest. I think I see myself in Spain. I'm no hablo español or poco español. So I need to do that first. I need to learn the language. That would help. But I've always seen myself like living abroad, and Spain's always been sort of a key thing, or maybe South America. I don't know. I've not been to South America, so I can't really say. But Spain, I'm there a lot, and I just find there's some warmth in that country that I don't know. It's got a special place in my heart. So maybe there in my own villa that I can invite friends to anytime they want to stay. In my spare room, maybe 2 spare rooms, I don't know, just chilling and just enjoying life as we all should be.
Anywhere specific in Spain or any place?
I love Sitges, I love Barcelona, but I've got a new I've only been there a few times, but Torremolino, South Spain, seems, it has a nice vibe because you've got Malaga. next to it, which is kind of peacefuler. And then you've got Torremolino, which is a bit of a party side of it. So you kind of got a mix of both. I'm still exploring if that's where I want to be, but at the minute, I would go tomorrow and see how it goes. But that's kind of where I see myself. Maybe on an island. I don't know.
Okay. Ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, people watch the interview right now. If they would like to start a career, create adult content, or they want to adventure themselves, in the business, what would be your best piece of advice?
My best piece of advice is understand the risk you're taking. Like I said earlier, it's there forever. Be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. You could be the most attractive person in the world, but if it's not seen, who's going to purchase it? So what I've said to people in the past is build a Twitter, get people to know who you are and what you're about. Have a niche. What do you offer? Why would I want to spend my money on you? Yes, you look a certain way, but what is there anything that really stands out that people want to buy? If you think of it that way, have a bit of a business mind and a business plan about it. So if things don't really work out one way, you've sort of got the sort of next step and be like, you can either ramp it up or change things about sort of the path. But I think main thing is building that platform, because if you ain't got a platform, people ain't going to see it, people ain't going to buy it. It's like having a business idea, selling stuff without a store. You need the store in order to sell the things, whether that's online or a physical store. Think of it that way. And yeah, biggest one is patience. It will happen if that's what you want and that people see it and want it. It will happen, but it's there forever. So be aware.
What's something that stands out regarding your business? What's something that people they look, when they approach you, when they they contact you? What's something that they kind of always, there's something they're always looking for?
For me, it's how it sort of started was me in sort of my bedroom. My solo stuff was more like, it's more not shock factor, because that's not the right word, but people were more surprised maybe that I was doing like what I was doing in during lockdown. And I think what sort of people sort of look for is who I'm collabing with next, as and whatever sort of position that would be in the bedroom. But that's kind of what I've seen. There's no sort of niche. I don't have like a fetish. I don't have like anything sort of, maybe I need to relook at my business plan myself, take my own advice, and just ramp it up or change things. I don't know, but it seems to be working at the minute. And I think, I don't know, when people sort of approach me or listen to me or talk to me as well, I've got a sort of, I like to think, people may differ, but I've got a groundedness to me as well, because I've come from a different angle into this world. I don't but yeah, maybe I'm fearless as well. I don't really mind doing whatever within my limits, obviously. But I'm quite happy to do whatever people want to do if I'm up for it.
Okay. Last question for you is, if you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
Absolutely.
Tell me why.
I'm 30, I'm 34. I always age myself. I'm not 35 till July, but I'm 34. I've had quite a lot of life experience from things happening in my past, and what I've found, and it's given me a lot of focus and a reality check, all of these things. Because what I see is everything that happens in your life, it's a learning curve. If you don't learn from it and you repeat it, you haven't actually learned from these things. But I've had these sort of moments in life that have given me this sort of foundation for myself, and I feel quite, level-headed and switched on and up to date with the cool kids, like, in a way. I'm actually got to that point where I'm like, maybe I am a little bit older. Like TikTok, don't get it, but yeah, I would be happy being me if I wasn't me. Yeah. And I'm fun. I think I'm fun.
Good, very good. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking. So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. One word for money.
Rich.
Family.
Love.
One word for life.
Mean.
Sex.
Hot.
Love.
Difficult.
Can be. Politics.
Politics. Tricky. Difficult. Upsetting.
And on and on and on and on. Religion.
Respectful.
Fear.
Don't fear it.
Friendship.
Important.
Desire.
Go for it.
Regrets.
Don't regret. Learn.
Success. Success.
Hard work.
Wish.
Wish. One wish.
Okay. Happiness.
Obtainable.
One word for Liverpool.
Fun.
One word for England.
Difficult.
More than love. More than love.
It's tricky. England's tricky. Plus, I'm in Wales anyway, so that's where I live at the minute.
You are safe somehow. It's still the same island, but safe somehow. One word for Scouser.
Cheeky.
I loved when I learned, people from Liverpool, they have this, they're Scouser. I have a friend from Liverpool, and I just found amazing. And the last one now, adult content creator. One word.
A lot of fun.
Great. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely partner for a coffee, and I'm going to ask him, tell me the most beautiful thing about Phil, and tell him something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What he would say.
He would say the most beautiful thing about me is I can talk to anyone and get on with anybody and find a common ground and can flow a conversation with absolutely anybody that I meet. What I would need to work on is so, for example, in Miami, I was jumping around to like people, just reminding me that I can't please everyone at once. Take a breath, step back. Not calm down, but chill.
Do you see some work in progress regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, I take everything like that as a work in progress because, obviously situation, not everybody sees what you're acting like in a situation, but only the people on the outside who are watching. So yeah, I'll always take things like that and learn from them and try and improve. Emphasis on try. We can all try.
Good. Let's play now Phil and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the music one more time. Let's do it. Okay. But before you ask me the question, tell me what's your favorite Welsh word?
Yaki da.
Which means?
Cheers. I know another one. Araf, which is slow because it says it on the roads.
Interesting. Okay, you can ask me a question now.
All right. So my question for you, kind sir, is what is your ideal date situation?
Oh, put me in the spot. I love being the spot. So so I'm gonna tell you. Okay, this something that for me the right date or the most interesting date is when I meet someone. Yeah, doesn't matter how we work it out to have the date. when I can see or feel that the person is being themselves. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
me, that's the key, the main key. If I get you a date, you know what I mean? Somehow, even if you don't know the person, you can get it somehow. You can kind of work it out. I know there are emotions involved. There are, those you want to impress, you want to kind of understand both sides. But at the same time as well, I think when you break the ice, when you start kind of, getting a little bit into, you start, the conversation is flowing. That's when you have the opportunity to literally be yourself. I think
Yeah.
that's for me, it's something that I quite enjoy because it's going to the right direction. Even if it doesn't work, but you might be dating your best friend in the future. You might be dating someone that's gonna be around you for for a long while. You might be dating someone that's gonna have like some, let's say, some fun with, some
Yeah.
sex or some fun sometimes. So be yourself, take the risk, even though take without don't I know you want to impress, you want to, to be nice and everything. Great. But at the same time as well, be yourself, because put it in the table, you know what I mean? Maybe can come a love for life, you're romantic,
Yeah.
could be anything, anyone. So take the chance, be yourself. So I like that. When I meet someone that, even though it's not gonna work as a romance or anything, but you know
Could
what I
have a
mean?
friendship there.
Yeah, it's fun. You can connect so bad. We can get this very good connection. We start laughing. One point, you're gonna go. You
Yeah.
know what? I just want to see you again for another situation or another moment. So I think that's the main key for me. Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah. And isn't it the most attractive thing in people is their true self? Like
totally.
when those barriers are down and when the facade is out the window and they're just, I don't know, being themselves, stupid, saying stupid things, just like, I don't know, drop it, like just reality.
Yeah, even if you think that it's not going well, because in the end of the day, it's gonna be yourself is going well anyway. Even though if it doesn't become friends or anything, it doesn't happen. But at least you had a
Moment, right?
Yeah, there was a memory there, and you kind of, you know what? I was myself. You know what I mean? It didn't work for some reason, but it's just life how it should be. But yeah, I think dating is an opportunity for us to express the way you are, because you never know when it can take you. That's what I
Never
believe.
know. Exactly.
Phil, did you enjoy the interview?
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Thank you so much for being so open, so kind, and also you said something that through the interview that I agree with you. I think when you see those people, any kind of people like on social media, working, expressing themselves, doing some work, you made a
Yeah.
picture of them. You kind of, it's normal for us. We see this people, you can be a positive or negative,
Yeah.
but when you talk to someone, and that's when you kind of connects a little bit with the person, you can see a little bit more. And I can see, actually, I'm talking to you now. It's funny because I saw this, this beautiful man working, posing, this and that, which is amazing. But at the same time, when you get into more a little bit, they're the other place. And actually, I think this platform is a good opportunity for people to see the real person, who they are there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're working, they are making a business, they are expressing themselves. But when you talk to them, when you see them answering like fun questions or something that people they never asked you before, I think that's when you get to know. And I think it's amazing. So thanks so much for being so open and so kind as well.
Absolutely, of course. I'll take any opportunity to be myself on, on YouTube, the media, whatever. Because like what you see on the internet, like if you look at my pictures, I never smile. I smile 99% of the day. That's all I do. But I've just created this, like, I don't know why. It's like the camera counts down. 3, 2, 1. I'll be like but, whatever.
Before you go, Phil, you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
I always say that's my core motto in life that I always come back to, no matter what the situation. And I learned this from my mother, and it was be kind. That's my core. And I'll always, or even if I'm frustrated, angry, if somebody says anything on comments, whatever, still to write back to be kind, because you never know what somebody else is going through.
Totally. And it's easy and simple to be kind, isn't it?
It takes no energy at all.
And what I believe is sometimes every time when you are kind to someone, in the end of the day, you are being kind to yourself, because that's going to come back to you somehow.
And it feels nicer.
Take care. With regards to your boyfriend, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye
See you
bye.
later. Bye. Have a good time.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.